Imagine a group of weary Puritan settlers, fleeing rigid authority in Massachusetts, gathering in a river valley to forge something radical, a government born not from kingly decree or divine right of distant rulers, but from the free consent of the people themselves. In January 1639, they wrote and adopted the Fundamental Orders of Connecticut, a document that limited power, elected leaders annually, and declared the people's authority supreme. No mention of the British Crown. No external overlord. This wasn't rebellion yet, it was quiet revolution. Historians call it the world's first written constitution, the blueprint that taught America how to govern itself. Connecticut didn't just join the nation, it helped invent the idea of one. Why does this small state, often overshadowed, hold the title Constitution State, and how did its early daring echo through centuries of power, innovation, and quiet influence? Long before ink met parchment, the land now called Connecticut belonged to Algonquian peoples, Pequot, Mohegan, Niantic, Podunk, who farmed, fished, and traded along the fertile Connecticut River Valley. Dutch traders arrived first in 1614, Adrien Block exploring the river and establishing posts. But English Puritans from Massachusetts Bay Colony brought permanence. In 1633, small groups settled Windsor. Wethersfield followed in 1634. Then, in 1636, Reverend Thomas Hooker led about 100 dissenters, frustrated with Massachusetts' tight church control, south to found Hartford. Hooker preached radical ideas. Government should rest on the free consent of the people, not just the elect. His May 1638 sermon inspired action. Three towns, Hartford, Windsor, Wethersfield, cooperated loosely at first, but they needed structure. Roger Ludlow, the colony's only trained lawyer, likely drafted the document with input from Hooker, John Haynes, Edward Hopkins. On January 14, 1639 Old Style, the General Court adopted the Fundamental Orders. 11 orders plus a preamble formed a covenant. Annual elections, secret ballots for deputies, a general court with legislative, executive, judicial power. Magistrates limited, no king invoked. It was self-rule, rooted in Puritan covenant theology, yet forward-looking. The Pequot War of 1636–163, it had already bloodied the land, brutal conflict ending in massacre at Mystic Fort, but victory secured the valley for English settlement. New Haven Colony formed separately in 1638 under stricter theocratic rule, but by 1665 it merged into Connecticut under royal charter. The charter, granted in 1662, largely ratified the order's framework, hiding it famously in the Charter Oak during a 1687 attempt to revoke it. The Fundamental Orders weren't mere local rules, they planted seeds of American democracy. They emphasized consent, representation, limits on authority. When revolution brewed, Connecticut drew on this legacy. In the 1760s and 1770s, British taxes sparked outrage. Connecticut's steady habits, conservative yet principled, fueled resistance. The state sent aid after Lexington and Concord, thousands marched. Governor Jonathan Trumbull, Brother Jonathan, became Washington's most reliable supplier. Connecticut earned provisions state nickname, beef, flour, gunpowder, cannons flowed to Continental Army. Privateers harassed British shipping from New London. Benedict Arnold, Norwich native, fought heroically early, then betrayed at West Point. Battles touched home. Tryon's 1777 raid burned Danbury supplies. Arnold's 1781 betrayal led British assault on New London. Fort Griswold massacre killed dozens after surrender. Yet Connecticut never fell to occupation. Its militia, supplies, and leadership sustained the fight. Independence won, Connecticut shaped the new republic. Roger Sherman, key framer, bridged small state fears with Virginia Plan, his Connecticut Compromise birthed bicameral Congress. Oliver Ellsworth helped draft Judiciary Act. The state ratified Constitution 5th in 1788. Early 1800s brought tension. Federalist stronghold opposed War of 1812. Hartford Convention in 1814 aired grievances, but secession talk damaged reputation. Slavery divided. Connecticut abolished gradually, last enslaved person freed 1848. Underground Railroad thrived. Prudence Crandall's Canterbury School for black girls defied racism in 1830s. Civil War, over 50,000 enlisted, high casualties, Colt's revolvers, Winchester rifles, armed Union. Factories in Hartford, New Haven churned munitions. Post-war industrialization surged. Textiles, machinery, clocks. Eli Terry pioneered interchangeable parts in clockmaking, Simeon North in firearms. Insurance rose, Hartford Fire Insurance, 1810, Aetna 1819, making Hartford insurance capital. Connecticut's quiet strength emerged in manufacturing and finance. 19th-century brass industry in Waterbury, Naugatuck Valley, Brass City. Sewing machines, typewriters, submarines, electric boat in Groton. Charles Goodyear vulcanized rubber here. 20th century, aviation, Pratt and Whitney engines, nuclear subs, Groton. World wars filled factories, defense remained key. Yale, Wesleyan, Trinity-educated leaders. Mark Twain lived in Hartford, writing classics. Politically moderate, lower Yankee conservatism blended with innovation. Insurance giants, travelers, Aetna grew global. Suburbs boomed post-WWII, highways linked to New York, Boston. Dark chapters, native displacement, slavery's legacy, industrial labor struggles. Yet resilience defined it, steady habits, education focus. Connecticut today blends legacy with change. Highest per capita income, top schools, Yale drives research. Insurance, finance, hedge funds in Fairfield County. Aerospace, biotech, pharmaceuticals thrive. Groton subs, Sikorsky helicopters defend nation. Challenges, high taxes, population outflow, gun violence debates, Sandy Hook tragedy 2012 spurred reforms. Yet innovation persists. ESPN in Bristol, CRISPR advances. Cultural gems, Mystic Seaport, Mark Twain House. Diverse population grows, cities revitalize. Connecticut didn't conquer with armies or dazzle with size. It persuaded with ideas. The Fundamental Orders taught that government derives from people, not crowns, a whisper that grew into the roar of 1776 and 1787. From River Valley Covenant to insurance towers, from revolutionary provisions to modern labs, this small state has quietly shaped how America governs, innovates, endures. In an era craving quick power, Connecticut reminds us, true influence often starts small, in written words and steady resolve. The Constitution state didn't just write the first rules, it lived them, passing the torch across centuries. As debates rage over democracy's future, perhaps we should look back to that Hartford meeting in 1639. The people consented then. Do we still? The river flows on, carrying the question.